Welcome to our meeting for a briefing session to our MA in Fashion and Textile program. And still some participants are coming in, so we will wait a while, and perhaps this will take you a few minutes more. So be patient just a while. And okay, and this presentation will not take you much time, and I have just within 20 minutes, briefly to tell us some basic necessary information about this program. And in cases if our participants, our visitors will have some question about the program or even about the whole university, so you can ask, and perhaps use your chatbot or use the voices in this Zoom. And according to our university's arrangement, we will have another channel on YouTube to make it live. And but I believe that the most of users will use the Zoom, right? And perhaps it will be more convenient. And I will use the English to give you the brief according to the university's regulation. In cases you don't have questions or you don't have much understanding about the presentations, and you can use it whatever language media. 普通话也可以哈，没分别啦。And but still, we will stick to the general policies of the PolyU, and I will tell you the processes in English, right? And okay, so 2 more minutes, right? Right, I believe it's our time, yeah, to give the presentations to public. And okay, next is started and begin the presentations. And welcome all you to join this meeting. I introduce myself first. My name is Chester To, To Kim Tu Jin Min. And I'm one of the program leaders for this is MA in Fashion and Textile. The code number is at PolyU is 14102. 14102. I always emphasize used to remember this is number because it's whatever times so you log in the system wants to search the information users should traces this is program number and jump to the related site information. So 14102 our program code. And after this session, so we will have another one that is for the MA in fashion design. This is another one, right? And our colleagues will help users to have more information. And in this is MA 14102, we will have a free program leaders this year. And but this is afternoon only is me sitting here and give you some brief introductions about this program, because it's all our other students is actually occupied by another academic activities. Although this is right the moment, this moment is is to turn back, but still so we are occupied by another seminars. Of course, this is online, and so it's a little bit busy actually. But anyway, and when we go back to our program, this one MA hosts in our helped in our departments as actually have some long history, and to my understanding, these programs started very early in the last century, and this is about 1948 perhaps. We will have a first graduations in 1947 and 97, and so Lily is 40 years history, and still our MA is a very small one. Each year we would recruit 50 students only, around 50 students, and according to the university quotas. Although we claimed as a self-financed one, but not really in 100% self-financed, because this is according to the university's regulation, and still will have some types of the subsidies from the central. But anyway, we expect the students will be responsible for the tuition fee courses, and principally universities will not have any financial aid to our applicants, right? So this is a program, and again, title MA Masters of Arts in Fashion and Textile, and the program code again 14102, and it's run by the ITC, Institute of Textiles and Clothing, one of the largest department in PolyU, right? And our program have actually two study mode. We will call study modes because this is, we will have a group of students, and they have a different class schedule. And full-time students, of course, they will arrange classes at the daytime, and part-time students meaning attend classes at the evenings. And we will have the arrangements in this way. Part-time student would take a longer period of time to complete the study. In general calculations, we expect that the times will be doubled for those in the full-time study. So we will have two modes of study, and no matter which mode, the students should complete the same awards requirement. And in this program, we will have 10 subjects. And this is the fundamentals one. And later, I will describe what kinds of the subjects or the courses within this 10. And in our calculations, each subject will carry 3 credit units. So as a whole, we will have the 30 credit units for the award requirement. And such calculations, and students should attend the classes in this 10 subjects in this way. And each week, they will have at least 3 hours for each classes, for each subjects. So just a rough estimation. If you make the registrations for 5 subjects in a semester, means there will be around 15 hours contact times per week. And we run the semesters in 13 weeks. 13 weeks. So right after that, we will have the assessments week examination. Normally, we will have 2 weeks to do the examination, final assessment, and then we will have a few weeks for a break, and we'll start another one. Principally, we will have 3 semesters. We will have a summer school, but this few years we don't arrange the summer school. Because of the staff availability, and have some related, we will inform you the details. But anyway, we expect the students will complete all the study within 2 semesters, 4 in Spain. And most likely, for full-time study, students can finish all the studies requirement by the end of May each year, end of May. And we will say students can graduate in this approach. And in this program, we will have 2 streams of study. And later we will describe more detail, but you will have some idea first. The first one specialism is the fashion merchandising. Another is global fashion management. Actually, the 2 streams of studies carry very similar subjects, the learning requirement. But of course, there will be some difference because for global fashion management students will ask us to travel overseas to another countries. But of course, in this 2 years, we face some problem because of the COVID-19 and the pandemic disease much affected the travel restrictions our arrangement very much. Like this year, because we can't schedule students to New York and to Paris, so we temporarily, contingently stopped this recruitment for global fashion management, and we will start. Hopefully, we can start this in next coming year. But still, we have some questions at this moment because why the moment we find the global situation we're not so optimistic. We see still a lot of the countries restricted to travel inbound or outbound, like London, Paris, even in America. So we will update you later for the global fashion management. And but at this moment, we still expect that these two streams of studies will go on in the coming academic year. And within each specialism, students will have some subjects compulsory. We will call it the common core subject, which means the students, no matter which stream of study, or no matter the students in full-time or part-time, students still take necessary. This is the basic requirement. And later I will describe this for more detail. And in each stream of study, each stream of specialism, we will have 3 some other subjects required, and we will call the specialized core subjects, specialized one. And so it depends also on the stream of study. For example, say if you want to take the fashion merchandising, and we will have a fee study, subject study, like the quality assurance in fashion and textile, and fashion merchandising, and all these are necessary in this stream, right? And also, so we will have some other elective subjects. These subjects are really elective. Like in this year, we will have a totally 17 subjects, 17 subjects offered to the student. So excluding the 4 common core and 2 free specialized core subjects. So suppose still we will have some others really elective one. And this is 7 subjects in 2 semesters that are really elective. Students much depends on the preference, depends on the ideas they can choose among these 7 subjects. And later, I will describe our program structures in more detail. And this is the approved tuition fee this year. And why I say this is approved is because according to our regulations, all the universities as a program cannot fix and decide the weight, the tuition fee that to public. It still just get approval from the senior management, and so I would say in this way in our universities, all the charges to student, tuition fee or some cost of money, some miscellaneous expenses, quite standardized. So we will calculate the tuition fees in this way, and for each credit unit, we will charge students 5,000 Hong Kong dollar, 5,000, and you can convert it to some other currency, RMB or US dollar even, but still we will use this basis, 5,000. So it's just as an estimation, to complete the 30 credit unit, So as a whole, the total cost for this program would be 150,000. And this is the costs for the study. Of course, this is credit basis program, and subject to our registration. For example, in individual semester, I have this example. You just register as a 3 subjects. Means you just wanted to take 15 credit unit study, and in that semester, I have the student will receive a debit note, ask them to pay for this 15 credit units fee. And so subject to the individual's subject number, and we will charge the tuition fees accordingly. And some not often students will ask credit transfer because perhaps some types of the learning experience that can be recognized in our program, and a student will ask us the credit transfer and waive the studies of the learning requirement. Once it's approved, they don't need to pay the tuition fee, and also exclude the credit unit study, so they can pay the next. This is that depends on the individual student application. We will review this as individual cases descriptively, and not as a whole for all types of the student. Like this, if you are admitted the registration and reported to studies in September, you will have more information about it. But this moment, perhaps we just focus on the program learning element, and how this element will interest you, right? So, in 2020 and 21 and the coming year and academic year, we will start the semester in September and lasts for 12 months. And still we will have 50 intake quotas, means both including full-time and part-time student, we will have 50 students. This moment we just make estimations, have a half and half. 25 will go to full-time and 25 will go to the part-time. But it's not fixed. We will have the balance. Just in case as not so students ask for full-time, we will increase the quota accordingly. And like this year particularly, yeah, the situations will be very difficult. It may not be the same as in the previous years. And we will have another sort of the full-time student, part-time students, not many. And this year we will have the 38 student, full-time student, 38, 38. And we will have a 14 part-time student. In total, it's 52. So 50 is yeah, the approximations. The average is yeah, yearly is intake. Some years it will be more, some years it will be less, but depends, right? So we will have this code to represent the studies approach, like FFM means the full-time fashion merchandising. It will be the biggest group of our students in this program. Another is full-time, but for the global fashion management, we will use the FGF. Accordingly, it's a part-time, the same. Part-time students in fashion merchandising will have the code PFM. For global fashion management, PGF, right? So when you plan to make the application, and the systems will ask you to which stream of studies you should prefer. It's quite important. Our programs will not ask you to select the stream of study right after the registration. Actually, right before your applications, you should plan it. You should deliberate it for yourself and think about which stream of studies you should pursue. And then when you make the application, you should declare which ones you like. So again, fashion merchandising specialism, we will have 4 common core subjects and 3 specialized subjects. And students are asked to pick 3 elective one subjects to the preference. And global fashion management, the same. But again, we emphasize this here. Global fashion management will ask students to travel. We will have some sort of partnering universities in New York and in Paris. In New York, we work with the Fashion Institute of Technologies, FIT. And in Paris, we work with the Institut Français de la Mode. This is another postgraduate institutions in Paris. And we will have 3 groups of students working together. And so Hong Kong, Paris, and New York, this is a 3 groups of students would have 3 different overseas seminars. And each will be run in this 3 universities premises. Like for example, in each September, students will go to New York. In each year's April, students will go to Paris. And again, in November, and then students will stay in Hong Kong. So we will have the seminars, we have a types of the collaborative work for them. So for traveling, students will be responsible for their own traveling expenses. So we will have some information for the student, and we manage the courses and advises the student to arrange the ticket and the accommodation, right? But again, this moment we cannot say firm about this arrangement. Yeah. COVID-19 will be the issue. We cannot 100% say sure in coming academic years so all the situations will be overcome, and people can travel at their will without much difficulty. It may not be 100% guaranteed. So at this moment, we still observing the situation. We will update the public using our web to check the global fashion management stream. And so at this moment, we will say in this way. If you're interested in this study, just send an email and check our web information regularly, updated the information, and we will have some individuals colleagues. They would particularly serve as this is a stream of study, and they will update all assesses the progress. Right. So this is the subject arrangement, and this year we arranged 4 core subjects, and the subject titles here. For example, for common core, you will see students are asked to take the sourcing and logistics. Of course, this is much related to our industry, fashion spaces. And we will have another subject also for design-related study, but not really decided. We ask the students to have some learning concept, some concepts about the design practice, and the current design store or neighborhood practices worldwide. So this is the international fashion and textiles design. Another 2 current technologies in fashion industry, and this is will update our students the current new and advanced technologies for processing, for store operation, for communication, types of domain, but still within our field, fashion and textile. So this is subjects are actually very popular, and not just for this MA, even just for others program. And we will have another management subjects, global marketing and brand management, and all this is necessary. Some of our candidates want to ask us the questions. They have some experiences in the undergrad, or even some other programs, and they have already learned some elements of these subjects. Could they ask us for the subjects credit transfer or exemptions for these 4? Here I will say in this way, no, because it's a core and necessary. We will have our idea to intensify the concept, the knowledge and skills in all these aspects at the master level, at the graduate level. So we don't expect the students will ask for the exemptions in this 4. And we will have another 3 specialized subjects for 2 streams of study. In fashion merchandising, we will have the quality assurance in fashion textiles and clothing, and apparel performance evaluation, and fashion merchandising and planning, and all actually is very management related and not really technical. And for global fashion management, we will ask students to join the 3 overseas assignments, as I mentioned beforehand. Right. So this is the arrangements of the program context. And elective subjects means students subject to their preference, the idea, and they selected from this is a pool of the study subjects. And some perhaps will be run in daytime, some will be run in the evening time. According to this year's schedules arrangement, I believe most of these elective subjects are actually delivered at the evening time. We will have a standard for the evening classes. We will start at 6:30, and likely it will be finish at 9:30, so 3 hours. Perhaps depends on the situation. The naturalists will ask the students more time. Maybe classes are finished a little bit late, but still we prefer the students we completed all the lecturing by the 10 o'clock at the evening time. Normally we don't have the weekend classes. Normally, of course, it depends on the lecturers. Some special contingencies arrangement, and perhaps they will ask students to attend classes at these September's, not September, sorry, the Saturday, and but definitely no Sunday classes, and yeah, right, and all this is about the study. The subject selection, and the individual subject descriptions, details will be posted on web later. This moment you can see the detail. Yeah, subject to our updates, but very soon. In case you want to have more information about the individual subject, you can send the emails to us. Right, and besides, apart from the campus learning activity, classroom study, library information searching, group project study group, something like that, and we'll ask the students to join some visit, cross borders observation. Sometimes they would join the fashion show run by the Hong Kong government or Trade Development Council. The government subsidizes institution to promote the Hong Kong fashion industry, right? And we will have some visit to companies, and sometimes may not just in Hong Kong. We will go back to our mainland China. Sometimes we'll go to even far more places like Japan. But this year we don't have this arrangement. Subject to the naturalist idea. We wanted to ask students to travel even far more to Italy even a few years ago. Right. So we expected to recruit students will have good undergrad learning background, and preferably students will be graduated in our industry as related study field like textile and fashion, engineering, design, management, something like that. But it's not restricted. Some students will have development background, like for example, once I have a student study accounting, but he works in a dye houses as a financial controller, and we still recruit him because he has much interest and know more about the industry's practice and the details, technical knowledge. So we recruited this type of student, and so we recruited students on the individual basis. We reviewed each application individually. This is our policy. So no matter what kinds of the backgrounds you have, in case you much interested, you can inquire from our enrollment officer, and she will help us very much. We give us as much information as possible. Right. So for those candidates who have the first degree qualifications, not much is related to the fashion and textiles. This is we welcome and recommended users to submit your applications to us first, and then we will make a review and study if you or individual candidates are appropriate or not, right? And because of the quota, the limit, we cannot promise all the candidates being admitted to our program each year. Here's I would say sorry about it beforehand, and still we will have some competitions, and this is the situation, right? And normally we expected all the classes run in English. So that's why this is, we will expect the students will have a certain English proficiency standard, and so the English requirements is a part of the entrance selection criteria. So if you have the TOEFL score or some others like the IELTS run by the British Council, and even some others, and you can send to us in cases you your undergraduate qualifications backgrounds are not mainly based on the English, so we will have such a request, and that's why you will see some candidates like from Hong Kong, England, Americans. Perhaps they can excuse this is English requirement. It depends. Once we have a student from Italy, her institutions actually conduct classes in English, so we will recognize it. Yeah, so we will find the proof and see this is the requirement, right? So when you submit the application or you want to inquire more information, you can approach us as our enrollment officer. She's also our postgraduate program secretary, Mrs. Cicely Holt. You can send an email to her, and she consolidated all the inquiry and will give the reply and suggestion to users as soon as possible, right? So this is a very general background about the program, and this is the link, and perhaps you can Google it, and you will find the link will direct you to the individual's program and submit the applications if you think necessary. And I would suggest users to have more information about the program. And we are now updating our web, and we will see most of the information similar to this presentations, and even more details. And you can make a decision and submit it in case of interest as early as possible. Because this year's university subject us to recruit students not in batches, which means appropriate candidates when they submit it, and we will make offer immediately. So late applications may have some sort of disadvantages, may have, and we will close the system at the end of March, or likely at the end of April, depends on the university's arrangement. But this is each year's admissions process arrangement, and so perhaps with the time, you can decide to take this program or similar program from the other institution, and you can compare all this program. In Hong Kong, I will say it in this way: only our department, our institutions offer the master related to the fashion and textiles business. This is the government's arrangement, right? And yeah. So perhaps I will not have much more information. Again, if you want to have more information, approach us, right? Or simply just go to our ITC's website. You will have more information about our department. Our department have a long history at PolyU, really long. Leading 50 years, even more. So we will have a lot of the facility, and yeah, right. So I have to stop the PowerPoint sharing, and would like to see this if you have the questions, right? Okay. I see this is one of questions. Um, we have an interview. We have an interview, and actually, we have already arranged the first round and the second round is interviewing, and uh, each year we will have around 4 or even 5 rounds of the interviewing, and we don't have double or what we call the second round, something like that. We will have the interviewing, but the interviewing would not be the part of the selection requirement. Now, I always emphasize this here. The interviewing is according to the regulations, universities regulations. We should give a chance to talk with all the prospective students, and as such as they will have some knowledge about the program and the universities as well. So the interviewing is necessary for students to have more idea, understanding about the program objective, the program logistic, and even just how the university supports our students, both for learning and the career development. We do not just arrange classes to students only. And each year, around March, we will have a very large scale career fair to help students to develop, to plan their jobs, the future career. Some students have to arrange themselves for further study by research, perhaps, or study PhD or some other master even. And to my knowledge, and just graduated last year's one, and a number of students now is taking the PhD studies in Hong Kong and in UK, and a student now is stay in Cambridge to take another master, and some have to go back to mainland to find a job. A few now stay in Shenzhen, work in our industry, and 2 or have 3. One just have a job in retail store in Hong Kong, but I don't have the update about this, their situation. But anyway, this is the concept. And interviewing is just run it in once only. And again, students will have the chance to ask questions, share their views and opinion, and we try to provide the very detailed and much information to the prospective student, the candidates, right? So we will arrange it in this way. When we receive the application, we will review all the cases and immediately arrange and invite the candidates for interviewing. This year, perhaps we still use the online platform, Skype, perhaps Zoom, to conduct the interviewing. And each interviewing time would just last for around 20 minutes to half an hour only, not much. So students will approach us to have some other information, right? Yeah. Right. We need some document, and but we'll ask the students to submit the related document and the information to the application system. we will use the student's academic background and perhaps the work experience to select student. So uh, we want the students to submit the transcript, um, the qualifications as a diploma as a proof for their studies and the academic knowledge, and perhaps some sort of submitted some sort of reference from their employer, and we will ask students to write a very short personal statement to introduce herself or themselves, himself, and so that we will have some idea about the intentions, candidates' intention, and the expectation from the study, So all this is the necessary information. We don't expect the student to submit, for example, the design portfolio, artwork. These types is not necessary at this moment. And this program, MA in Fashion and Textile, actually is very business and management related. Like as I mentioned, so we will have a 17 subjects. Like this is there's only 5 subjects that are technologically, and design related. All else are management and business related subjects. So that we actually is a management business program, and so we normally don't ask the student to submit the types of the portfolio or design artwork. All this is information this moment are not necessary, but of course we welcome it. In case you have this is information wants to be sent to us, you can do it during the interviewing. You can present this material to us during the time, but you don't need to submit all this to our system. So in sense, all the documents to be scanned and preferably in PDF format and attach it to our system, and we will follow all this as a document. Yeah. So when you are going to submit your applications, and use a plan and prepare this is a scanned record and submit it. All this is coordinate. Right. Any questions? You can turn on your voice in case you want to ask us questions verbally. I remember this is a new policy. This is informative, and this year the university changes the duration, study times they adjust it a little bit. And like as I want to mention, we ask students to take 10 subjects to complete the study requirement. And normally students can take 5 in one semester. The maximum numbers of subjects in the systems allowed our student to take is 7, but normally student would take 5. It's very intensive actually, and as such as normally students can finish all this is within 2 semesters. So that this concept means that students would spend a year in the study. This is the normal study period. And in case students want to plan the study time and need to be longer, like I wanted to spend some other month, additional month to finish the study. They want to make the progress a little bit slow. It's just allowed, but students should make the request and get approval beforehand. And so we expect the students will complete it all within a normal study time. Part-time students, we expect the students completed the program within 2 years. And in cases beyond these 2 years, and students are asked to make the requests, and subject to our dean approval, and so students can can proceed a longer time to finish the study, right? So this is this year's arrangement. Previously, because of the credit-based system, students have their own will, the provinces to decide how many subjects they take in individual semesters. So the progress, the durations will not be so standardized, and but from this year onwards, all the students are asked to follow this general guideline and to complete the studies within the expected duration period. Right. Okay. Any more questions? Or do you want to share your views and idea? Okay. Why? So as such as I would suggest we stop this moment, and welcome all you, and thanks to all of you to attend to this meeting. And again, you can approach us again and send an email or call us anytime in office time. And if you want to have more information about the program or the process for the application, all this is welcome. You can do it anytime. Particularly in this is coming visits, we addresses devoted to this is admissions work. So you have to send an email and approach us, right, for any other questions, right? Welcome all you again, and we will follow the all the questions extremely fast, as I would say, in this way, 24 hours perhaps, and you can see some information even to our studying student, and they also will have some idea to you, right? But of course, not so physically this year, because still student heavily relying on the online platform to attend the classes for types of the communications at this moment, and so that's why perhaps we cannot arrange the direct meeting with the existing studying students with the prospective student. But anyway, we welcome everyone, and welcome users to our ITC and or our university, and our program. It's my view. This is a very business and management related, and we work closely with the MBA program, and perhaps you will have some idea. And actually, it's a part of our program subjects, the courses. Actually, it's shared with the MBA program, and depends on the idea, and you can even find more information from the MBA about our subject study. Yeah, we work as closely, and we are partner actually. And but by the way, 14102 is the independent master program run directly by the ITC, and we care about the students' learning and also the careers, the futures. So this is our aim, that we expect the student will have some professional futures in this field. Perhaps the student, when they graduated, they will find the opportunities in types of the sector, like retail or the processing industry. Perhaps they will stay not just in Hong Kong, even some other countries. They may pursue further study even. We will give them some good idea and the references for them to pursue and develop their career, right? So I stop here, and I say goodbye to all you, and send emails and text us in case you want to have the information. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.